All right, guys, today we're going to be doing a brief training on Menu Profit Pro or MPP. The reason I'm doing this is because I've been asked a lot over the last few months to do virtual and in-person trainings with customers. And the reasoning I've got behind that is a lot of the sellers don't feel comfortable using the MPP software. And I used it for about 14 years as a customer. It's been around for a long time. I know the argument is, well, we're going to be releasing Menu IQ into first quarter. We're not at the end of first quarter. So until then, I want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with using the software and not only you using it, but training your customers on how to use it. A lot of our customers don't even know we have it because we don't talk about it a lot, but it is a differentiator. And with the rising costs of food, this is a huge eye opener for a lot of customers who, when you ask, how do you do your food costs, they just say, I made it up something, or I guessed, or, oh, I wrote it on a piece of paper. This way it's in the system, it's updating as our prices update in live time or relatively live time once a week. And that way they kind of have a better idea and grasp on their actual financials. So let's dig in. So we're landing on the Moxie homepage. And from there, we're going to click under My Business, go under Menu Profit Pro. It's going to launch a new tab. I think Menu IQ, it'll keep you in Moxie, but for now it is taking us to a new tab. So here's the items we see. I did already update the price just so it didn't take time during the video, but you can do this once a week. That's going to update anything US Foods product related. If it's a non-US Foods product they've inputted, we don't control that cost, so they will have to manually adjust that price, but they can do that in here. From here, you're going to go under menus, and this is going to give you several options. We're going to start with recipes. Click in there. So this is anything that you are batch preparing, whether it's a sauce, whether it's batter, whether it's a basic cheese pizza that you're going to add toppings to. I also have a burger set up in here. I always liked to create something with, lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, anything that was going to go on every single one of my sandwiches or a majority of them. So I wasn't having to enter all of the individual ingredients every single time, just to save yourself a little bit of time, right? For the pizza, if they order a cheese pizza, great, you already have the food cost in here. But if they're adding any toppings, this at least gives you a base where you're not having to make sure you're entering consistent portioning every single menu item. So we're going to do add new recipe. We're going to go in here and do pimento cheese. And we're not going to do full recipes. I just want to give you guys a brief glance into this. We'll say there's 20 servings per recipe, 3 ounces each. And then you'll hit save. From here, you're going to go up and search the catalog. They can also search in My List. They can search in any non-US food product that they've entered in. So if they're using it for a competitor, this is also a great way for you to be like, it'd just be a lot easier to do this if you transferred all your product to us. And then any other recipes that you've created, you can pull into not only the recipe detail, but also the menu items. But for now, we're going to search in the catalog because I'm under a generic account. We're going to go under shredded cheddar. Now, if this was your customer, the ones that they were currently buying should show up near the top. You're also going to get any of these conditions. So OG is order guide. If it's on an order guide, it should have a check mark or something here. Any of these special order items will have, and you see the little red things, or just in time. These are all things that are just special items, and then you can look at the images. So make sure you're doing fancy or feather, whichever they prefer. Click the get price, and we're going to say we're going to do 3 pounds of shredded cheese. Add that to the recipe. And we're going to add cream cheese. And then we're also going to add in mayo. And we're just going to add in 1/2 gallon. Right, and this is we're not doing an actual recipe here. I just want to show you guys the basics. So down here, there are conversion opportunities for your recipe or for your individual ingredients. Whichever one you click on and is green is the current ingredient you're looking at. So once they go down here and do some of the conversions for you, then they do show up in your drop-down menu as well. But we're not really going to touch that today. If you have questions about it, obviously reach out. So for now, where's the save button? There is no save button, it auto saves. So if you go back under menus and recipes, you'll see the pimento cheese is sitting there. For that whole batch, it's sitting at $22.45, or per serving, it's $1.12. So from there, we're going to go under menu items. So this is where you're going to create all of those individual menu items for the customer. You can add a description in the next steps, and it will show up here. So for now, we're going to do add a new menu item. We're going to do pimento cheese with pita. And we're going to say warm pimento cheese dip with crispy pita chips. Menu item category. So we're going to put it under lunch. You could create your own categories, and I'll show you how to do that briefly. We're going to say it's going to be $10.99, and again, hit save. And from there, we're going to make sure we highlight this recipe box, and we're going to type in pimento. Because we don't have a lot of recipes, there's not going to be a ton. So we're going to hit 1, or I guess 1's not an option. So we're going to hit 3 ounces. This is where the conversions come in. I'd like to say menu IQ will be better, but I haven't seen a lot of it, so I can't guarantee anything. So now our pimento cheese is in here, so $1.12. And then we're also going to switch it back to product catalog and look for pita chips. So here's our frozen scoop ones. We're going to say you're going to get 4 ounces of pita chips and add that. So right now you're showing that the food cost is $2.02. We're charging $10.99. So our gross profit for this is going to be $8.97, and our food cost for it will be $18.38. Now, if your customer does a lot of to-goes, I would highly recommend, I tell all my customers this, putting in your disposables. Put in that 3-ounce souffle cup with a lid, put in the to-go box, put in the paper liner, put in, if you're putting a cutlery kit in every bag, put those in. If 90% of your business is to go, add it to everything. Make sure that you are calculating for the rule, not the exception. So from there, we can choose a file. If you want to update a picture, let's see what we got here. Well, for now, we'll just do this. So we're going to upload. So that will show up. You can also add steps. So in here, we'll say heat the dip. Warm pimento dip in saucepan. We'll say saute pan. And serve with 4 ounces freshly fried pita chips. You're going to hit save and close, and you can add as many steps in there as they want. It will show up down here. You could also add critical control points. So if you are dealing with something or you have staff that's not cooling things correctly, tell them to add in some critical control points. It will show up. So if you go to your options now, you're going to have a couple options over here. Your menu item production. So this is for your production team, right? And this is your menu item detail, where it's just going to show the image and your any instructions that you've typed in, as well as your food cost and your gross profit. If you go back into here, you also have the menu item production report, which isn't going to show any of your food costing because the production team doesn't care, right? The other one is for management. They're the ones who need to know food costs and things like that, unless your customer is really is maybe cross-training in a role, then it might benefit them to see what the food cost is. Maybe they're throwing away a lot of product and they want to emphasize waste. Regardless, there's 2 different options, so they can show food cost and profit or not. So that's kind of the basics with that. Again, ingredient information. You can play around with some things down here. I had that little screen. From there, we can show your menu item categories. So if they have breakfast, lunch, brunch, dinner, appetizers, bar menu, whatever they want to break it down into, they can easily add a new menu item category. In here, they can change their, these are just what the computer sets, but you can change your food cost so it alerts you, high food cost, low food cost, gross profit, low gross profit. Put in your name, your description, like, oh, this is our bar menu. We run this Monday through Friday, 4 to 6, whatever it is. Um, and then once you click into here, you can also change it. So I just set this as a high limit. But as we saw in the main page where the menu items were, if it's outside of those parameters, it will highlight. Green is good, red is bad. I don't know if there's a yellow. I can't remember. I think it just leaves it blank. You can move it around to different menu item categories here as well. Everything will show up here. You also have the option of entering your non-US foods products in here. So when a customer asks, how do you do that? I use a secondary vendor, or you are the secondary vendor. You can add in a new product. They will have some information that they need to do and putting in the unit of measure. But that's, again, it's pretty self-explanatory and it's work for them. Easiest answer would be, well, if you switch everything over to us, then you won't have to worry about that. There's some menu engineering graphs if they have a POS system that's telling them the sales. I did this for a customer maybe a year ago, 6 months ago, where we entered in all of their data and just showed them, like, you've only sold 4 of these in the last month. Maybe that's something you should consider taking off your menu. You're not making money off of it. Or you've only sold 10 of these, but you're making good money off of it. And it's a plow horse. There's stars and plow horses, dogs, and puzzles. We can go into more explanation of that if you need. Just again, this is a very brief walkthrough. Obviously, if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. I don't mind doing the training. I just want to make sure if people feel comfortable discussing it with their customers. It, again, is a differentiator. A lot of, I know Cisco has Cisco Studio. I'm not sure. Even when I worked there, people didn't talk about it. It was just more work for them. But at the end of the day, it locks you in with those customers and shows them that you do care about their profitability as a company. That's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you have an awesome day and feel free to reach out with any questions.